Welcome to Simplicity for the Soul. I'm your host, Brianna, and I am so blessed to be able to share with you my gifts and to be able to share with you my epiphanies to help humanity and to help you really come back to how simple it really gets to be, to come back to really the truth of who you are and who you be. So I'm Brianna. I am excited to announce that I am a human design expert, Gene Keys expert, and teach a masses of knowledge, mostly through books that I am writing, through webinars that I host, through all kinds of avenues that allow me to really share my wisdom. So where did that journey begin? And I think it's really important to know that every single person has a unique journey. So the first simple truth that we need to understand is our journey isn't supposed to look like somebody else's. And the minute that we start comparing our journey to that of someone else is the minute that we have left the amazing truth of, dude, you've gotten off track. Like, dude, bring it back, because the minute you start comparing, you've already set yourself up for failure because you're looking outside of yourself. You're not looking within. Now, when you look from a perspective of my life is really crazy, or my life has been a shit show, or I've gone through a lot of experiences, when you believe that you have failed, of course you're going to believe that you're broken because you have set yourself up for such high standards and expectations on who you need to be in order to be loved. So every single human has an innate desire to know that they are not separate from that of unconditional love. And so we're all on a journey of seeking until we're not. So the reason that I want this episode to be about human design and Gene Keys first is because too many people don't know about the truth that is readily available to us for free, because one person decided to share their wisdom, because one person decided to open up to divine intelligence and birth a process that the world so desperately needed. And it's my belief that every single person has this ability to take intelligence and to create and formulate something really beautiful that the world could all benefit from. So Richard Rudd is an amazing man, and he has changed my life in really profound ways. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is go to genekeys.com. And when you go to genekeys.com, that's spelled GENEKEYS.com. And once you get to that website, there is a tab called Free Profile. So that free profile is going to ask you to enter in your name, your birth location, your birth date, your birth time, and that time does need to be accurate. So I cannot stress enough that you need to have that birth time in AM or PM. If you're using a human design app, I personally like the blue one. However, there are amazing coaches like Jenna and other amazing people like Phoebe who really know, like they know the different systems and the ins and outs. So any app will do, but if you are using an app, you will need the time to be in military time. So with that said, you will get this free profile, and it is going to cover so many different truths. It's going to cover your life's work, which is really what you came here to do. I want you to think of that masculine energy who's here to go out into the world and shed light and wisdom with all that is around. Once you know why you're here and what you're here to do, life becomes really simple, because you're not actually confused on like what box to fit in, because there isn't a box. You're like, oh, dude, this is my life's work. And it is what it says. It's your entire life's work. And work doesn't have to be complex. Work can be really damn fun. And when you know what alignment looks like to the truth of who you are, then of course life gets to be exciting. But you don't think that unless you know what tools you're working with, right? So then you go into this profile and it will list out your life's work. It will list out your evolution. And let's be really clear. This process is designed to help you grow in the most natural form, the most natural way. So that's why we're not all cookie cutter sheets where we can all grow through reading the same book. If we all grew the same way, then we wouldn't have 10 million different coaches, 10 million different books, 10 million different courses, digital programs, right? Like there's so much information readily accessible to us. And we have to find what works for us, because a tree is not going to grow the same way that a freaking, rose bush is going to. And when you understand that you are designed to grow in a very specific way, your evolution is here to show you the way that you were designed to naturally progress in this world. And when you do that, it's the yin part of you. It's the feminine part of you that wants to feel grounded and safe in this world and know that you totally are supported. The universe has your back. God has your back. Now, moving from that information to then next year radiance, there is information inside of this Gene Keys profile that discloses how you are designed to feel vital and alive and healthy and have a sense of well-being. It is like the ability to create magic without even really trying. So now I kind of laugh on what the law of manifestation is or is not, because we're all here to feel and experiment with our magic a different way. Again, if we all could just close our eyes and visualize something and it just came, then we wouldn't be struggling like we are, right? Like there's people all over the world that don't know what their next meal is going to be. Like that is a direct reflection that not all of us are in our true alignment or get to even have access to this information. So that's why I'm so passionate about sharing with you what's worked in my life to help you understand that the more you seek love externally, the more effed you are, because it doesn't ever last. Like, it's a dopamine hit. It's a drug. It's the next thing. It's like, what else is going to keep me excited? It's like we are so bored as humans, and we're looking for the next excitement or the next adrenaline rush because we really haven't settled into the truth of who we are. So of course we're looking for external sources to feed us. But I will say dreams are real. And in order to manifest the dream, it always requires that we look the fear dead in the face. And you can't actually manifest the dream unless you're willing to look at what's holding you back. So on the Gene Keys profile, after you discover the way that you are meant to experiment with your magic, once you decide and know the information of what keeps your body healthy and radiant, it's a beautiful process, because then you can go into the next part, which is your purpose. Now, this is really fun. This is just my own epiphany, and I'm going to give you a lot of those. But purpose, when I say go look for your purpose and find it, you're going to stress out. Like, you're going to freaking go into fight or flight because you're believing the lie that there's only one purpose for your life and you need to just find it and, anchor into it. And that's bullshit. What if, this is just a what if purpose was for each one of us to propose and then expect? What if we were to propose our heart's deepest desires to the universe, and then we were to expect the fulfillment of what we've asked for? What if all we have to really do in order to manifest our dream and fulfill our purpose was just to ask? Like, how crazy is that concept, right? But we don't believe it because we don't ask. We don't ask for our desire because we think it's wrong. I mean, there's a million things that we have to get past before we see the truth of purpose is really who we be. It's the quality of who we are. It's the quality of what we experience. And it is to propose that we are literally fulfilled with more love, more opportunity, more adventure, more fill in the blank. So when we're living on purpose, a lot of us don't find our purpose because we're not living on purpose. We're living to survive, but we're not living on purpose, right? Usually it requires a death before we wake up and we're like, dude, you're not living. Like, yeah, sure, you're in survival and you're doing a whole bunch of productivity tasks, but do you actually feel alive? Do you actually take the adventure? Do you actually say yes to the next thing your heart wants, or do you shut down because of fear? And death is a huge thing, right? Like, I actually just lost my father probably 4 months ago, and it really helped me understand that not only was I not living fully, but that life is short, and life is not meant to be experienced in a mundane way, but that being alive is in itself an adventure. And when the adventure ends, or when death shows up on the doorstep, are we going to be really proud of ourselves for leaning into the heart's desire? Or are we going to reflect back and wonder, like, why the hell we gave so much power to the fear of our mind? Like, what if all it required was looking the dark pieces of our psyche in the eye and saying, I see you why you're afraid, but you're not dead. And this thing that you desire, even if it really did equal death, again, am I going to do it for the name of love? And that's why we're here. Our purpose is to be loved, to experience more love, and to share more love. So with Gene Keys, when you go onto this profile at genekeys.com and go to free profile, it's going to break down in different paragraphs a short snippet of what each of those paragraphs mean. You're going to scroll down and you're going to see these spheres that are different colors. You've got green, red, and blue. The idea of this process of what I coach is to get yourself in alignment with who you are so that you can enter relationships being aligned. And once you enter relationships and heal the emotional realm, then obviously the byproduct of teamwork is prosperity. It's you and I, and with you and I as a team, we're able to manifest real prosperity and wealth. It's not just about the money. So there is a sequence to go through. So I will help you understand what that is. If you want to head to my email or to my website, I would gladly tell you what that looks like. So human design, if we're being really clear, is a system. And the only flaw is that it's not called you as the system. That's my opinion. Because when you understand yourself as a very complex system, you realize that you as a system, you are the algorithm to your own success. And now what the hell does that mean? It means that there is a very sacred formula for you to follow, and you've been following it this whole time. You just didn't know you were. So the reason I love exposing human design as a really healing tool is because it's not a modality outside of yourself. It is you. So human design takes the ancient wisdom and the esoteric knowledge with science. Let's be clear, there's totally science involved with this. And what it does is it merges the two worlds to see the truth and the profound union of all things. So you take ancient wisdom like the Kabbalah, the I Ching, the astrology system, the chakra system, the epigenetics, what scientists are learning about quantum physics. You take the gene keys, which are your DNA, your genetics, literally, and then you're able to get into psychoanalysis because now we understand what subconscious patterns we're working with. So those sound like a lot of fancy words, but in simplicity, what you need to know is that all truths, everything that is truth, will stack upon one another. And the human design system is you. The human design system is the ability for you to see yourself through the lens of I am all things. And there is a special formula in which I heal and bring more light into this physical body. So in realizing my human design and gene keys, I stepped onto the ledge and really decided that not only was it important that I share this information, but that I share my gift of articulation, translating what feels really heavy into simple truths. And here's the truth. You're not broken. That is my message. You're not broken. But you have evidence that shows you where you failed and where it's wrong, where it's heavy, where things could have been different. But human design and gene keys are a system with words that say, but wait, are you sure about that? Because there are words that validate the human experience. Now, if I were to, for a moment, pause and put human design and gene keys on a shelf, I would tell you that my medicine to humanity is my words. Why? Because words are medicine. How often do we wait for a lover to say all the things that we desire our little child to hear? How often do we wait or do something, especially to get the validation from someone else externally? So that's why I'm so passionate about sharing my words, be it a podcast or a book or a course or working one-on-one, because words really are the awakening of a soul. It's the first place for mental awareness to happen. One concept can change your entire life. I'm going to say that again. One concept can change your entire life. But in order for that concept to land, you have to know what you're asking. So if you're anything like me, you have a history of feeling broken and feeling like something is fundamentally flawed with you. Like, I can't stand the personal development world because now I understand there's nothing to develop. There's only more to be. Now, I didn't say there's more to do. There's more to be. Like, imagine knowing like you know the universe not only has your back, but that you can't do it wrong. Like, what would it be like if I gave you the key to unconditional love right now and not later when or not later if? Like, all of the conditions and rules we put around ourselves are just stupid. So the first part of this podcast is to introduce you to your free profile, to go to genekeys.com and get your free profile. The second part of this is to have you download the Human Design app. Any app is fine. There are many apps that are free. That information may not mean anything to you yet, but it's the first start of awareness. Now, throughout my own journey, I feel like I was the queen of seeking. Like, anything I could get my hands on, my restless mind was like, oh, this is going to promise me the like salvation of what I've been looking for. This is going to be the answer, right? And like $20,000 later, after getting into heavy coaching and programs and courses, I'm like, dude, this is going to be the thing. And then I'm finally going to feel this way. And then when I feel this way, I'm finally going to be fill in the blank, right? But it doesn't work like that, dude. Like you realize that like resources are there to help us to be a source of empowerment, but not to be a dictator of direction. So I'm going to say that again, because resources are there to empower us, but they're not meant to be a dictator for direction. So anybody that's giving you direction outside of yourself already has a place of error, because nobody knows better than you. And that's the truth, dude. Like you know. And the lie is that you believe you don't know, but you freaking do know. It's the way it feels in the gut. You freaking do know if it's wrong or if it's right. You do know. You feel it or you don't. So with that, we're going to pause there. And I really want to hear what inspiration you get when reading your first paragraphs of the Gene Keys free profile. After putting in your information with the Human Design app, I would gladly love if you were to go to my website. I also encourage you to send me an email and put on there, podcast number 1, please help me with understanding my human design so I can share with you more information on how to read that. My email, I'll give you that. It's Bree, B-R-I, Breeze, B-R-E-A-T-H-E-S, Belief, B-E-L-I-E-F @gmail.com. And the best thing that I can tell you on today's episode is that there is hope and there is faith at the end of the tunnel. And the simplest thing I can tell you right now is that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. So that is the simplicity for the soul today, and I'll catch you on the next episode.